It is video 19 tonight. How loving the wrong people can ultimately ruin your life. Like, god damn, if there is anything I see a lot, it's people jaded by shitty relationships, right? I bet most of you can relate. So tonight, I'm going to actually tell you a story about a girl who destroyed her life by loving the wrong people. She started with every advantage in the world and ended up with nothing. The story's content isn't light, so fair warning. So, it started when she was younger. Lots of time alone. She was insecure because she was chubby and no boys wanted to go out with her. The time alone made her crave to be loved, you know. Wanted someone's attention, just like any young girl. So, on we move, fast forward to adulthood. Latched onto someone willing to give her a lot of attention. Unaware, it was actually a red flag. She was ready to join the Air Force and pursue her dreams and accidentally got pregnant with her first kid. Decided that's fine. Time for a family, let's make it work. Time moves on, pregnant, soon the truth of the guy she was with would come out. No meant nothing. She would tell him, I don't feel good, and then feel her shorts being pulled down anyway. Crying and saying nothing while she didn't have a choice. She'd be sarcastically thanked afterward for the good time. He would force her to perform orally and videotape as she cried. Told her family didn't love her and isolate her. She was terrified to be a single mom, so she stayed. She didn't want to be over dramatic about what was happening, so tried to justify it and make her family work. On moves time, second baby was conceived even though she was trying to sneak birth control. After the positive test came back, she cried for 2 hours in the bathroom because she felt now she was truly stuck. The second baby was born. She was going to college online, working full-time and taking care of both babies while he spent his time on video games, asking her if she was going to wear makeup because she should, and telling her she was only beautiful if she was blonde, and just kind of, she didn't want to put out, there was no point in him staying up, stuff like that. She knew something wasn't right, she didn't feel happy. She started doing research about emotional and mental abuse, and called the women's shelter and asked a counselor if they had ever seen someone change. They said no. She made the decision to take her kids and leave. Everything was looking up, and she accidentally got pregnant with her third kid with a guy she had just started to see. Everything seemed fine through the pregnancy. They got a place, but she still felt alone. He worked out of town, and she just felt unhappy and kind of neglected. So, unfortunately, she started to seek attention online through other guys, and he got mad. He took the Suburban she had just paid $4,000 for, told her to leave the house. He was her child care. She was without a vehicle, daycare, and a home. 3 kids. Felt abandoned, and a very dear friend and coworker gave her a place to live. She started smoking weed a lot to deal with her feelings of hurt and abandonment from the kids' dads, and trying to cope with the feeling that nobody could love her the way she wanted to be loved. And a friend she made while living there started showing up and helping her when no one else would, while she got ready for work or whenever she needed help, and listened when she talked. She finally felt like somebody cared. When they got together, she was the only one working, maintained the household. She didn't care because she was so thrilled someone cared to be there for her. She wanted another baby. She got pregnant with her 4th kid. That's when the violence started. She would take in her boyfriend's family members, and they would steal, and they would gang up on her with her boyfriend when there was a fight. Defending him, he'd disable vehicles so she couldn't leave, punch holes in walls, destroying relationships with landlords. Maybe it was just a rough patch of high stress. Like an idiot, she married him. After baby 4 was born, still surrounded by his family, isolated from hers. Oh, they loved her. She was just part of the family, but she was just a resource. The mom even once smiled and closed the door as she watched her son drag his wife across the house by the throat. Clinging to the memories of the beginning, she overlooked being called a dumb cunt every day and retarded, but it wore on her. While waiting for enough time to elapse to get her IUD after her 4th C-section, she got pregnant with her 5th kid. Maybe things would improve. It couldn't get any worse, but it did. He got a job and was gone all the time, and when he was around, it got more violent. Favorite thing to do is grab her by the throat and scream in her face, pregnant or not, in front of the kids or not, destroy her stuff. Multiple times she was thrown into walls, vehicles, her vehicles destroyed. She was left alone to deal with everything, even at one point in a garage with no firewood during the winter with her children. And at one point she lost a house because it was so damaged from the rage. She moved in with him and his family because there was no place else to go after that, hoping for a fresh start. The boyfriend that lived there got mad at her oldest 2 kids for sitting on a coffee table and flung them off. Out of anger, the husband said, "We're moving," and packed up their stuff, but there was nowhere to go. She realized, now I have 5 kids and I'm homeless. They moved into a garage. She had quit her job with no way to get there, found a new one, trying to get things back on track because he kept quitting his job and guilted her for things like having to sell vehicles to make ends meet. She was a dumb cunt, you know. She just wanted to make it work through the bad and the good. Homeless, took care of the bills, the groceries, the chores, the kids' schedules, working. She was tired. On top of that, she was berated every day and told how worthless she was by him and whatever family member was there fake smiling in her face, acting like they cared. She eventually stopped caring and picked up dope. She justified she needed the meth to keep up with everything she had to keep track of and do because there was no time to sleep. After getting into a full-out physical fight in front of the kids, she decided it was the last straw. She needed to leave and get life back on track because it can be better than that. One night, she was trying to keep things together with her husband. It was the turning point. He got arrested and she found his phone. Conversations with other women, trying to pick them up on days he was going to his mom's, something she could never envision being even a possibility. No matter how mean he was to her, she never thought he would cheat. The real deal breaker was conversations with his mom. She had given places to live numerous times, found jobs for her, with them laughing about how retarded she was and how they wished she would die, while smiling to her face. She sat there blank for hours. It was the quiet of a broken heart. She left, but the addiction continued. She tried to get it right. Finally, months later, she made the decision. And 2 days clean, CPS showed up on reports of meth and took her kids. She lost everything, her marriage, her kids, her home. Everything was gone. If not for the time and energy put into these toxic people, the devotion to these people who didn't care back, she would still have her family, which are her babies. This is just a surface story. The point is, if anyone's treating you like this, leave before it destroys you and your life. Love is a beautiful thing, but only when it's met with people that love you back and not use you. Know your worth. It's why I make these videos. It's because rock bottom is not a good place to be. Not only will it hurt, it'll hurt your ability to trust and accept love in the future. So please hold strong to your standards of how people treat you and what you'll tolerate, because it will destroy you eventually. I don't care who you are. No amount of love towards the wrong person will fix them or change how they treat you. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.